Hey guys, it's Sophie from Build Your Jungle, and today we're going to be doing a plant haul once again. Some of these plants I actually filmed a video repotting them, but I realised that my tax information was in the background of the video, so obviously I could not post that. I've got plants from 3 different shops today, and they're all quite varied in the plant types, so this will be interesting. I have 2 plants from my local garden centre, which is Tom Garden Centre. Firstly, is a plant that I wanted to get for ages because it's Ficus Elastica Aborigine. When Aaron first got his, it was like 3 leaves, and now it's as big as this. I love how the light just goes off the leaves. They've got these beautiful black leaves and then red midrib underneath. I just think they're so more beautiful than the other types of Ficus Elastica. A lot of people really like the Shiveriana. I'm not that fussed about it now. But this, I just feel like there's something unique about it, and I like the dark colour to kind of break up a lot of the green that we've got going on. And Aaron, my housemate, I think I've mentioned this a couple times before, he has like 2 or 3 of these sitting in the windowsill, and he constantly forgets to water them, but they still do so good. So it seemed to be a plant that I thought I should give it a go, because if it's going to be quite low maintenance, hopefully, because I've had some very bad experiences with fiddle leaf figs and Ficus orderi, although the Ficus orderi was a rescue plant that died, so I don't feel quite as guilty about that. I can tell you exactly how much they were because I've still got the tags stickers on. So this was $7.99, which I feel like is so like a fair price for this good sized plant. It's got a new growth point already, and we'll see how this does. So I'm just going to do the same care for this as the African fig tree, and I'm just going to repot it, upsize the pot, and use just like a standard houseplant mix with some perlite. This is a plant that is not a very rare plant, but is a plant that I have wanted for ages and just not got for some reason, and it was a super good find because it was in their reduced plant section. It's a Calathia Orbifolia, and how good size is this? It is so big and beautiful, and I just would have paid normal price for this anyway. I feel like the only reason that it was reduced, because I can't see any evidence of damage, pest damage or anything. I think it's just because someone's knocked this leaf at some point, and it's got a big cut in the leaf. But it's that is all. This plant is perfect, and I'm not even bothered by the cut in the leaf, so I'm gonna leave it on. It's really big and just beautiful. I love the look of these leaves because they're pillowy in a way that reminds me of a philodendron mame or majestic, but it's kind of like a stripe, this illusion of the stripes creating this big buoyant texture. I just love it. Calathias I find really easy because they generally like to stay moist, and unless you've got them constantly sat in water, they shouldn't really be rotting from the moisture. They're quite resistant to that because they like moisture. You can either water frequently from the top. I like to do it less is more, but from the center more frequently, and then every now and then, is that what I just said? Every now and again, I like to bottom water Calathia just to make sure that, because I'm watering more often in smaller amounts, that the roots all the way to the base of the pot are getting enough water. And I find with Calathia that if I'm top watering them and they're not perking up at all, that usually means that the roots are very root bound and that the water's just not getting down to it enough, which is always how I notice that I need to repot them. Because Calathia are one of the types of plants that I don't choose to pot in clear pots because I don't feel the need to keep a close eye on the root system like I do with some of the aroids. And this was originally $17.99, and it was reduced to $10.99 just because of that little cuts on this one leaf where someone's knocked it. So that was a beautiful plant for a very, very, very good price. Thank you very much, Tom Garden Centre. I know exactly where I'm going to put this because I've got another really big Calathia. It's a Calathia medallion from Poppy's Potting Shed, and it's going next to her, and they're going to be best Calathia buds. Also, there's a new leaf coming through here, and it's so cute. It hasn't unfilled yet. How precious. Also, by the way, this Scindaptus pictus agreus and this Epipremnum aureum neon or neon pothos, they're both from Tom Garden Centre as well, and they were such a good price as well for these, like, what am I doing? For these, they're so full and long and lush, and they were a really good price. So I think for pricing and plant quality, Tongue is a really, really good garden centre to check out if you're in Leeds. So this is the first of the 2 plants that I filmed a video repotting that got messed up. And this is a fern leaf cactus. It's a trailing jungle cactus. It's got these like really thick, nice kind of succulent leaves. It's a type of epiphyllum. And when I got this, it was very dry in the substrate, and I feel like it had dried out quite a lot. I gave it a big water and I didn't repot it until I'd had it for a couple of weeks. And I feel like it's perked up a bit. It's still looking a little bit unhappy with me, but also it could just be because I've repotted it. But I did try very hard not to disturb the roots. But it's beautiful, and I think that it's going to be really easy to take care of. And I've always wanted one of these. A lot of people prefer the fishbone cactus, but I'm not the biggest fan of the rigid kind of shape. It almost looks like a fake plant to me. But this one, like, I really like, because I feel like it's more of a natural shape, and I'm a big fan of the succulent leaves. So because it's a jungle cactus, it wouldn't be getting like huge amounts of bright light, so it's not the kind of plant that I would want to stick on my south-facing windowsill. I've got it under a grow light. It seems to be fine with that. It's not a particularly hugely strong one. It's like a medium level kind of floor standing one that I installed recently, and it just hangs in the middle of my hanging plants over there. And I just feel like it's nice to add something that's easier to care for. I've got this potted in a succulent mix. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this will... Oh, I saw a mealybug. It was just a bit of perlite that had got a bit like crushed. Heart attack then. It's a false alarm. It's a false alarm. Really like this plant anyway. This plant, I just knew I had to get it when I saw it because it was unlike anything I'd seen before. But then I feel like these must have been popular at one point, because I had heard of it when I realised that this is what is commonly referred to as silver squill, I think. And I thought, yeah, I've definitely heard that. I found it confusing that another common name for this is the leopard lily, because apparently this other kind of Aglaonema or Dieffenbachia, I can't remember which it was, I'll put it on the screen. Apparently that is also called the leopard lily. So I don't know. This plant is from South Africa, and I will say, by the way, I need to water it today. It's a bit thirsty looking right now. This plant has a very bulbous structure at the base. It's got these really cool, like, this flowers, and I will say it was in flower when I bought it, but I cut the flower off because I'm not interested in the flowers with this. I just love the foliage. Like, it's just got the coolest patterns ever. And it just looks really different and stands out when I've got a lot of block green plants. But this is just beautiful without it being like super colourful or garish. It's just so nice. This leaf's drying up a bit. I don't know if that's just because I've left it a bit long in between waterings. Like I said, it definitely needs watering today. And I think this is also semi-succulent. I've put it in a cactus and succulent mix once again. And online, the information I could find about this was telling me to like care for it like a succulent. So I hope that's right. If anyone has any tips for this or has grown this, please do leave it in the comments below, because this is one of the plants that I've just struggled to find information on, although I don't know if I mentioned already that it is from South Africa. I repotted it into this pot that was one of the ones that my nan gave me, and I love it because I don't think it's showing on camera. It looks to me like it looks grey, but it's this really dark green, and I've got a lot of furniture this colour in my room, so I'm actually super appreciative of just the appearance of this nursery pot. And both of these are from Grow Tropicals, and I don't think they had any fern leaf cactus left unless they've restocked them because I got the last one. But I know I talk a lot about their mixes, but I recently decided that I'm going to give Soil Ninja a try, so I'm going to see how my plants do with that and then give you guys an update. Okay, actually, I just remembered I also got this plant from Grow Tropicals. It's an Anthurium umbricola. It's got really like nice reflective leaves because it's very like, I always want to say quilted, the way that the leaf like puckers up quite far between each vein. And it's got really nice leaf margins. I first saw this species on the Equigenera website, and it looks a lot darker in their photos. But I'd seen this one at Grow Tropicals and I just thought it was quite cute. And it's got a new leaf coming through now, which is exciting. Well, it has come through, waiting for it to unfurl. I can't see any more roots coming through yet, but it must be growing actively still to have pushed out this new leaf. I really want to avoid snapping off these. Oh, because the other thing about this plant was on the day I brought it home, I accidentally snapped this a bit and I wrapped it in masking tape, and I thought there's no way that this will work, and it has, and it's healed wonky, but the leaf's totally fine, and I'm just amazed that that worked. There's also some kind of issue on this leaf where it's like orangey yellow, and I have a feeling that because this is living next to the El Choco Red that I imported from Equigenera, and that's having some kind of fungal issues, and I think that it's passed it on potentially to this plant. I'm not sure. I'm going to spray them both again today with fungicide. It's not like typically like what you would have thought it would look like, but I'm just getting a bit jumpy about it. Let me know. What do you think? Do you guys think this is fungal? I've just been really obsessed with anthuriums at the moment, and I've been trying to introduce some rarer ones into my collection. Yeah, it's just nice to have some more unusual ones, and I'm super loving my anthurium jungle bush at the moment. The care for this is really just chunky mix, high humidity, and watering when the substrate's dry about like halfway down. I repotted this since I bought it, and so that's how I know that it has a lot of roots, because it had a lot of roots when I bought it, but then I repotted it into this plastic cup, which I've just recycled that we used. And yeah, so this is in about 70% humidity at the moment under a grow light, and it's doing well. Now for the wildcard shop of this haul, I purchased some interesting succulents from a cactus and succulent specialist shop that was a tongue twister in Spain. I bought them through Etsy, and I have mixed feelings about this, mixed feelings. The first one is one, shall I talk about the one that I have mixed feelings about first, or the one that I'm happy about? Okay, we're doing the mixed feelings one first so that we can end with a happy plant reaction. So this is the plant that I asked you guys to guess on Instagram what plant I'd bought, and it's an Aeonium. And for these, am I pronouncing that right? Aeonium. And it is this really beautiful succulent, and my housemates went to Spain and they saw they didn't see a picture, they took a picture for me of some of these growing in the wild, which was really, really cool to see. And as you can see, right, I'm going to explain a couple of issues with this in a minute. It grows up in a stalk, and it has that similar like rosette look that a lot of succulents have. It's very, very dark and red and just very beautiful. And the ends of the leaves, I'm gonna have to show you because I don't think I can pick it up like this. But they have these very, very tiny, fine spikes. And it's a very cool plant. But both of these plants were in shipping for 3 weeks. I'm presuming it was quite hot in Spain. And I also made the mistake of ordering when we had British bank holidays. So yeah, they were in for a long time. And when I finally opened the box, I was going to do an unboxing video originally, but when I realized how long that they've been in transit, I thought I better open them. And they were wrapped in toilet roll, and then there was peanuts all around them, and the roots were very, very dry, and that had resulted in this losing like 3 leaves already, and then now I potted it up. And what I'm regretting doing, not doing, is I wish I'd soaked it for a long time in water and then pruned back some of the roots to maybe stimulate new root growth, because it's as if I've not watered this, like it's not taking it up because the root system was a bit damaged, and I'm now losing like 3 more of these. So I'm not sure. I need to do more research on this plant. Maybe it's just having an issue with the massive temperature difference between Spain and here, but I think it definitely was super dry like when I got it. And I potted this up in cactus and succulent mix. And then something else happened, which is my fault and not the person's fault at all. The door for the kitchen, I'd been leaving them in here to isolate them from, because it's so much better to leave new plants downstairs in my house than to have to isolate them upstairs, because there are so many plants upstairs. And the door to the kitchen has been left open a lot, like basically for really long periods of times, like all day, when it's been nice weather and we've been chilling outside and stuff. And this morning I saw aphids on this, but it was very clearly British aphids, like I'm sure. And I'm sure that because there were only a couple, I think that it just had come from outside, because I checked these plants over really well when I first got them and sprayed them, and they didn't have aphids then. So you know, we've left the door open. So anyway, they're gone now. But will this plant start taking up water again? I don't know. If it continues like this and it really decreases, I think that I will have to, in a sense, repropagate this. Because I don't know if the plant's just trying to take in water through the really dried out root system. Or I could try that wetting agent stuff. The second plant though was so cool, and this is the plant that made me want to make this order in the first place. And it's a type of Euphorbia, and it is just so very cool. Like, I've really been getting into weird cacti and succulents recently, and the thing I love about Euphorbia is how quickly it grows. Since I've got it, it's already got loads of little new growth points on it. And obviously the thing that just is so striking about this plant is it's this like kind of muted blue-green colour, but it's got bright orange spikes. And I don't even know if you can tell how red these spikes are, but it is so unusual and it looks so alien to me. I love it. Both of these plants, they are small plants, but I think they were priced pretty fairly. I've seen the other plant that I got before a lot, but I've just never seen this type of Euphorbia. And this had the same issue though, with the very, very dried out base of the plant and roots. But this has carried on growing. Whether or not that means it is managing to take in water, I don't know. The pot still feels like heavy to me, like it hasn't taken in the water. But I had a monkey tail cactus propagating at the moment, and that is still growing before it's growing roots. So I don't necessarily think that means that it's taking the water. And if I'm guessing, I would say it's not. And I paid £10 for shipping from Spain. Obviously it took 3 weeks. Probably would have taken like 2 weeks if it wasn't a bank holiday. Yeah, I feel like it's not fair of me to say the shop name without giving them a chance to resolve it first. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna message the person, send them some pictures and ask more like what they would do and for their advice. And I don't really see any reason to badger someone for a refund. There's always going to be a risk when you're shipping a plant. It's hard enough to ship a plant from somewhere in England to somewhere else in England, never mind to ship it from somewhere very hot into freezing cold England. So no hard feelings. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't treat this as in the same way as an Equigenera import, because at the end of the day, this has been through a long journey. I'm going to give it a chance to recover, and hopefully they do. So this is just so cool. So cool. Right. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know any new plants you've bought in the comments down below, and feel free to subscribe to our channel. We're posting every week. We also post daily on Instagram. There's a whole bunch of content on there, and I'm going to be adding loads of new phone wallpapers soon. And also, if you guys want to buy any cool planty art prints for your home, please visit our website. We have a selection illustrated by both myself and Han. Bye guys!